Hi guys, so today we're going to make a pretty easy card. It's just the 2 layers of stamping and then I put it on this red background. So it's this koi design here. It's called Plain Koi. And full disclosure, I was making the video for it and I realized the die was reversed. So Lisa went ahead and obviously replaced it for the correct die. There was a little error in manufacturing, but I just had to wait for this one to come in and now we're good. So make the card and I'm just gonna go ahead and redo it for you guys now since I have the correct die. So thank you so much Lisa for replacing that. And also these are items that I picked up, I purchased myself. So this is just a review like I do any other review. Yeah, so we'll just get started. So this is, again, Plain Koi is the one I'll be working on right now. Right here. Really cute. I love that. I just love the whole design of it. But I did want to show you that if you guys like koi, she has plenty of other koi fish types, and I will have the links. I don't know if these are sold together, because I bought this at an expo a long time ago, but I never got the die that went with it, so I got the die recently. I ordered it. I see you guys saw it in the haul. This one's called Koi Fish 4, or 2010 SSE001. And then there's a die that kind of coordinates with it. So again, if there's 2 different links, I will have the 2 different links, but that's that one. And then there's also Koi Pond. I'm sure she has other ones, but these are the ones I have. This one I just recently picked up, and you can kind of mix and match, I guess, if you really want to, or, you know, do whatever you want with these. Really nice size here. This one's 2015 WSEA002A, and there are the dies. Really nice size. So I'm not going to use these today, but I did want to show you that she has other koi related stamps. And then I'm going to use the background of the River Rocks. You can look at it by River Rocks, but again, I'll have the links for you guys there. And as you can see, she even used one of the little fish here, really cute. And then these are like some little angel fish that are adorable. Just put them on there. But this one, you're going to see just kind of peeking out the back just a little bit there. So I am going to use my glossy paper for the River Rocks for the background. I did order some Marco paper. I don't know if it's going out yet, but if you guys saw the video where I recently gave you a link to get like good deals on expos things or expo items, like if you're going to a virtual expo, Marco's paper had a deal there, so you can check that out and get a little discount. So we are going to stamp this. I'm going to use my Stays-On because I do like the Stays-On just because it dries faster than VersaFine and I can just get right to it pretty much. But I will give it a minute to dry. So we'll stamp that. And then I'm going to use my Nina paper for the fish, and you will see that the difference, because this is just Crafter's Companion stamping paper. Again, you guys know we can do the Centura Pearl and it looks amazing, so that'd be really pretty. But I thought shiny, 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 maybe not because my paper is shiny in the back. So I went ahead and did the matte here, but this is Crafter's Companion paper, and we'll stamp on Nina, and you can kind of see the slight difference there, I'm sure. So let me grab some of my Nina paper, and we'll get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our River Rocks going. And again, with Stays-On, if you're using Stays-On, you want to use their spray to remove the ink from your stamp, but you can also just use alcohol. I'm just kind of laying it down a little bit at a time to get the air bubbles, make sure the air bubbles aren't there. And if you look on the back, you can see if there's any air bubbles, just kind of reposition it. So I had never thought about that, but Lisa gave that tip, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's right, because one time I did have an air bubble that just wouldn't go away, or I didn't notice it, and then after that, it was like, even though I was using a stamp positioner, it just was not stamping right in that just middle section. So make sure you don't have air bubbles in your stamp there. And I like to do what she likes to do here. This is just jet black, I guess. I'm telling you, it smells interesting. Like, it smells like cherries. Like, oh, you know what? It smells like NyQuil, like the black cherry or cherry NyQuil. That's what it smells like. But anyway, so we rub, just to make sure you're getting in all the nooks and crannies there. But if you leave it like that, you're gonna have actual lines, okay? So you don't want to do this. So you're doing this to get the ink everywhere, and then just go over it and just dab, 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 so that way you don't have those lines. I know back in the day we used to put the lines on purpose, like if you stamped a word and you kind of streaked it, and then when you go to stamp it, it looks really cute because it kind of gives it some texture, but we don't want that right now. We just want a nice stamp on the glossy side of our paper. This is not photo paper. I mean, you can try your photo paper. I know a lot of people say that the one from Costco has worked for them. I don't know what that means. I hardly ever go to Costco, but some Kirkland one. It's not my favorite place. I always Instagram about that. Like, I don't know. Costco is just not my place. And I stamped for a long time, but really like good 2 or 3 second stamp is all you need. Oh, look at that. So awesome. It just looks like a black and white photo. It's so cool. Okay, and again, a little alcohol. Just clean that off. All right. I'm gonna let this dry for a second, I guess, while we put the rest of the card together. And I am going to use a stamp positioner just in case. And do you know what's so funny? You guys keep asking me what stamp positioner this is. It's the We Are Memory Keepers from a long time ago. It was one of their first precision presses, and then they made another. Actually, this isn't the first one. I have the first one. This is the second one. You can switch out these top parts, and you can put a clip for like to clip stencils, or you can put something that puts like a marquee, like it holds like letters, which I never even got into because I'm like, these letters were tiny, and then this one is just for the press, so I just keep the press on there. Nina Classic Crest Solar White, or whatever they call it. Okay, and it's just a piece that I have left over there. And let's get our stamp. And I have used a stamp before. I did not do the eraser trick on this stamp, but it worked well. But if you want to prep your stamp, just take an eraser. Just in case you just want to get a good impression, just go and rub all over the stamp, and that way you get that little dispersion layer that might be on there just gone. But I'll just show you now, even though I've used the stamp already. Just everywhere, and you get that little slick surface kind of gone. Like I said, that's up to you. If you want to try that, you don't have to. But if you see that you don't get a good impression or your ink is repelling, it's probably for that reason. So I'm just going to put this on here. It doesn't really matter where. Again, I'll squish it down. I will make sure that there are no air bubbles, and there really aren't. So it looks good. And I am going to use my Local King markers because I have them, but any water-based marker is good. People mentioned, there's a lot of times when I do a giveaway, people have questions there, or they'll say things and I'm like, because I can't respond there. These are not alcohol markers. Somebody had said, oh, I didn't know you could do the alcohol ink. I'm like, you can't. I did. It's water-based. I keep saying that, water-based. They're water-based markers. I don't know what to tell you. But I guess if you wanted to use alcohol ink, I don't see why you would, because it's going to dry, right? Alcohol ink is like a Sharpie. It's like if you draw on this, it's just going to dry on there. Yeah, I guess you can spritz it with alcohol and then stamp, but I don't know why you would want to do that. So I would say no, but that's up to you. Okay, so it looks like I used pinks last time. I'm gonna use like a deeper pink and a lighter pink. And what else do we have on here? We have some blue, some greenery. All right, greenery, light green, maybe this green. We have blue water, so I'll go with the little deeper and the more deep colors. And we always want a black, and we always want like a, yep, you know what? I always get this one and I say black. This is black. This is black, and this is like a really deep brown. So this is the one I'll use for the frame, but this is a black. Hopefully you can see the difference there. And, oh, the fish is orange, right? And yellow, maybe? Maybe I'll do a little more yellow than I did last time. Yellow, orange, and some red. All right, he's got a lot going on. Okay, so where do we start? I'll start with my flowers. This appears to be a flower that looks like it's leaves down there, so I don't know. It doesn't, you know, just do your best. And again, lay your marker kind of flat so that you're getting a good coverage of the areas. So as you can see, I start with the lighter pink. I'm gonna go in with the darker one, just kind of like in the middle here, maybe touch some of the ends of the flower. Same thing here, since it's a bud, I'm just gonna go on the very ends. And then we'll go to our leaves. I'm starting with the lighter green. I'm thinking the other one I colored the whole thing. Oh, no, I did. I went with green. Okay. I was going to say, did I color the whole thing pink? Do whatever you like, guys. But this looks like it should be green here. Some little leaves here and there. And then take the darker green and just add some color. You can come back and blend it if you really like to do stuff like that. I'll get the light blue, the lighter blue here. There's some little water swishies here. This card is so cute because it works up really fast. I think that's part of, no, I guess, I don't know if that was part of the fish or water. I counted it as water last time, so it can be part of the fish, but I don't know. And again, just adding some darker blue here and there. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna take the dark green and do this. Okay. And our fish, let's start with the yellow, the lightest color. I could have done the fish first if I was afraid to pull that blue in, but it's okay. I was just being careful. So there's our yellow, and here's some orange. Just kind of getting it in there. And then we'll come in with the red. Let me put some of the little fins here. And then we'll take our black, put it over the eyes, over these little things on the front of his face. And then also with the black, we like to do some dotting here and there just to kind of break up the color. And my brown. Somebody said, it's so nice how you just slap it on there and it looks so nice. That's the trick. That's the magic of the stamp. Alright. And before I stamp, I like to give it a huff because it's been a while since I worked on the flowers, but you can you can see it's still wet. I just kind of breathe on it. And then we'll stamp. And I'm using a stamp positioner in case we have to stamp it twice. A lot of times, it seems like with regular cardstock, sometimes you have to stamp it twice. So I'm just making sure I'm getting everything. Let's see what this looks like. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Let me just... It's not bad, guys. I think for Nina, that's pretty good. Like, pretty darn good, don't you think? Let me see. I might go with the second coat just to make it a little bit brighter. Okay, so if we're going to do a second coat, what you're going to do is wipe this off. Now, if you're using like glossy photo paper to do this, you probably won't even have to do it twice. Most of the time, one time makes it really nicely. But Lisa's tip is always to just come back in with the lighter color, because that'll go on top of the other colors and it'll just brighten everything up. But again, if you want to just kind of redo everything, go ahead. I'm going to come in with a lighter color. And I think that's part of the fish right there, actually. Yeah. And so then let's, you know, like the lighter green. Actually, the leaves are pretty good, but let's go in with the lighter green again. The lighter blue for the water. Because this color is going to pile up on top of the color you already had there. So it's just going to intensify everything, not just the light areas. And I had the lighter pink. I think on the flower I'm going to go ahead and use some of the darker pink before I restamp because it's very light, so I don't want it to just go away completely. So I'm going to do this, and we'll go ahead and go with the darker pink just a little bit in the middle there. Again here, tips, light green, just spot here. And let's go ahead and do the brown outline and make sure I get the brown and not the black. That's black, this is brown. So I'll just do a second. Stamping. Again, the magic of that glossy paper is it just takes it in really nicely. So if you're doing Centura Pearl, again, a lot of times you only need the one stamping. Okay. There it is. Look at that. Just so much brighter, but it's so nice, and it just stamps really nicely with this Nina paper. Okay, I'm gonna grab some colors so we can color this thing in, and then we will put it together. Okay, since I always use Crafter's Companion water-based inks, I'm gonna go ahead and this time use my Memento inks. I had just bought a ton of these. This is probably 10 years old. I'm not even joking. These inks, and they're just as good as ever. I don't have a green in here though. I do have green, but it's chalk ink, so it's a little bit different than like your Memento fade-resistant dye inks. So I'm just going to hopefully get a little green color going with my blue and yellow. So I'm just going to move this to the side because I don't want to have to clean off my silicone mat, even though you just wash it off and it's fine. I'm going to use my magic mushrooms. These were given to me, sent to me for review from Local King, so just to let you know, full disclosure. So this one, as you can see, is clean. It's ready to go. I do kind of like keeping them in these little tubs here they come with. This one might be a little bit dirty, as you can see, but I'm gonna use blue ink anyway, so it's not gonna hurt anything. And then my yellow is gonna be yellow anyhow, so we'll see. Yeah, I usually clean them off, but I know the blue one, I used it recently and I just put it away and didn't clean it off. All right, so since I don't have green, like I said, we'll see what happens. But I'm going to start with the lighter yellow because I don't really want to come in with yellow later and then make it green on here. So these are, again, Memento inks. And I'm just going to do the whole thing. But not the whole thing, like, you know, I'm going to come in here with some color. But we're only going to cut into this, and then some of it is going to... be cut out because the dye isn't the biggest dye. So I have Teal Zeal. And I'm just going to rub that in. So pretty. And I got that green effect here, so that's good. I might leave some yellow. I was just looking to get some green at least. Let me get a little more teal down here. I don't know which part of this I'm going to cut into, so I just need to get some color down. And I think I'm going to get the teal down the center because I'm going to use the darker blue around the edges. And I'll show you how to clean these off in just a second here. Oopsie. And nautical blue. It's pretty dark. I'm just coming around the edges. Like I said, I don't know what part of this I'm going to cut, so I'm not too picky. Just trying to lay some color down. I think that's good. Pretty, pretty. Okay. And I'm leaving a little bit of white kind of peeking out, the smallest amount. You guys need to watch how Lisa does the dewdrop one, because what she does is basically uses not glossy accents, but something like this, right? Let's say before you start coloring it, you can just lay this down and it will repel the ink. So when you're coloring it, especially on the dewdrop, in the center of the dewdrop, if you keep it white and then color the rest, it'll just pop. It'll make it look that much more 3D. I think she said the best thing to use was Nuvo, those little thick kind of drops. So whatever you like to use. But I'm going to put this to the side for a second and show you real quick how to clean this off. So just spray it with a little bit of water. You can see the blue's kind of coming off. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Find another area of your towel. Hopefully this is clean. That's dry. And then if you pounce, there's no color. See that? There's no color. We're good. It's clean. I'm going to clean this off. Alright, I'm going to clean up my little magic mushrooms and we'll cut up our card. Okay, so for the very base of the card, I'm using Centura Pearl and Christmas Red, and I just cut a 4.5 inch square. Now, if you want your card base to be like a 5-inch square because you like round numbers, go ahead and do that, but this should be, you know, it can still be 4.5 inches, but the next mat should be like 4 3/4 inch square, and then you have your 5-inch card base. But I went straight to a 4 3/4 inch card base. That's going to be a square. So this is 9.5 by 4 3/4 inches. So when I fold it in half, it's going to be a 4 3/4 inch square. And I came up with those numbers literally just by measuring, you know, the depth of this or how tall this was, and then just kind of came up with a number. So that's how that came about. And then so we're going to have this here and this here. Maybe I'll straighten out my card. Maybe I'll straighten out my card. You can bone fold it. You can use your score pal to actually score. So that's our card base. And then all we're going to do is cut out our pieces. Again, if you want to use your embossing abilities from this, then go ahead and do that. So it is a 2-part die. So again, and I've showed you with the Cheap Friends set how you can use both pieces if you want to cut both pieces out, and then that way when it comes out you have this really delicate frame. You can just use this piece, which is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to use this on the river rocks. Okay, so we have 2 shadows, or 2 layers. Now you can always make yourself an aperture or a guiding window, as Lisa calls it. I'm just going to eyeball it because her dies are so close to the edge that you can just kind of look through it and just, you know, get the eyes in the right area and see how the flower is doing over here and kind of see where the leaves are, and it kind of gives you a pretty good idea of where you are. So again, if you want to make it more exact, go ahead and just run it through on a scrap piece of paper, the die, and then use that to help you make a little window to peek through. But again, I'm just gonna kind of do this and hopefully not regret it. Let me see the eyeballs. I can see a lot of that flower there. And you know what, I might take a minute to emboss this because it's a really nice image. It has a lot going on. So I'm going to run it through the marquee just so you can see. Obviously you can run it through your marquee, but with the marquee you're not going to be able to emboss it, okay? So just giving you that info. Fits in the marquee perfectly. And I'll just run it through. Somebody asked me how I keep my folders from curling, and I always say whatever you see on camera is what I do. So I'm not doing anything special with them. I don't do anything. I know some people say they boil water and put it on the folder and then flatten it out like under something heavy for a while if that bothers you, you know. So there it is. It is not going to come out. Again, it has that kiss cut feature, so it's going to be stuck on the paper still. Even if you wanted this to be just like a card front, you can remove the frame and then you have your nice card front, which I've shown you in other videos. You can go ahead and do that. And I am going to rubber emboss it, and I guess I'm going to use my Gemini. I did get it back to working, guys. I just figured out obviously what happened. And what happened was I pressed reverse when the thing went past the rollers, so it just, my reverse has never really worked for me. I never really use it in the Gemini, so I don't know why I thought to use it the other day. But basically everything had went past the rollers, so when it stopped to do the reverse, it was like, I don't know what to do, and it just got stuck. So all I had to do was reactivate the rollers. And you guys are sweet. A few people, have you tried turning it off and turning it back on? Yeah, that's the first thing anybody ever does, right? You turn it off for a while, you turn it back on, you hold down buttons to see if that does anything. It was literally, I had to activate the roller. So I had to get those other plates in there to activate the roller to make it know that something's there, and then it started going. So that's all. Okay, so I am using the rubber embossing folder of the Gemini to go in. Again, the Gemini doesn't do the best, craziest, like, wow, look at all that embossing, but it's okay. Empress does a better job of that. But I hardly do the rubber embossing, so it's not the biggest deal. As you can see, it kind of pushed it up in there. So now we're going to have our embossing. And I didn't do that the first time either, so that card's slightly different from that. But let's do this. Whoop. So pretty. Again, it's still attached here, so let me just get this taken off of. I was kind of leaving this here because I can use it next time for my guiding window, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm just going to detach this wherever there's a little kiss cut. Detach, detach, detach. There's not one there, so that's nice. She only does a few, so it's not, you know, a huge ordeal to kind of get this removed. How am I going to get this one? There we go. Oh my gosh, you guys, so pretty. And then again, she always has like some fun details. So if you look on the back, you can probably see it better than on the top, but you'll see that there's areas you can lift up. Like his whole little spine part here, this little back fin comes up, the whole thing, right? So if you look on the back, you'll see where those cuts are. And then this guy, I can keep it for the next time I want to use it for a guiding window. So next to my stamp, I can put this on here. line it up really nice with my image, then flip this back and run it through, and I know exactly where it is, so I didn't have to waste that paper. So there's that. And I will go ahead and cut, even though my Gemini is on and I have it ready to go, I will cut this part also. So then you can take your little guy, and if you want your whole card to be the whole thing, you know, just trim off the sides and you can use this whole thing. I just thought a shaped card would be fun, or shaped that as far as that part. But again, you can leave this whole background. So I'm just trying to see where I want to put it. I think right here is kind of nice because I like the blue and I like that little green that's coming through. So I will take my die, line it up. Where is it supposed to go? Why am I so bad at this? As soon as I'll come to do this, I'm like, no, that's not good. Right here. There we go. There we go. You know, I'm going to turn it the other way. Still get those colors in there, but I have to turn it this way to get the whole thing. I don't know if you saw, some of it was coming off the side here, so I'm going to get as much of the yellow and green, because I really like that, as I can. Like right down here. In that area. And where is my tape? I'll just use a recycled piece over here. And when I do this, I'm just sticking this down to help me out, but I'm going to place it more off that way, not into the part that I want on my card. And I move a lot of stuff around here. Boop, boop. All right. And I'm just going to cut this one out. Again, these cut on anything. You have your Cuttlebug, your Big Shot, your whatever machine you like to use to cut dies. There we go. So pretty. All right. So it's up to you which way you think this is supposed to go as far as on your card. I was looking at it, I'm like, is it supposed to be up? Is it supposed to be sideways? What, you know. And I want to open my card upwards. So I'm just going to orient it to that way when we get there. But for now, let's lay down. So if you guys like this one, I feel like it's pretty quick. I mean, for all the artistry that it looks like went into it, it is a pretty quick card, right? And then I'm going to layer this on top of this to make sure I have all the little, whenever you go to put your glue, just make sure whatever it is that you're looking at on the back that has like dimension, don't glue it down, obviously. So I'm going to use my tacky glue that's in this little bottle, and I'm going to go around everywhere that I can kind of get. Obviously we want our card top to be secure, but at the same time not gluing down the little flaps that have some dimension to them. And all up here. That's pretty good. So I am leaving this on here kind of. There we go. I'll hold this down. I'm gonna let this dry for a second before we manipulate it more, but I'm just gonna hold this down. And then I'm gonna use some 3D glue gel to give it some lift when I put it on the card. So I just put this on top to help me kind of flatten it out, just to make sure it's nice and flat there. And I'll just perk up these little edges right now. Again, we have these. And you don't have to use your nail, you can use a tool, right, to poke at it there. So pretty. And I'm using my 3D glue gel. Again, I get this on Crafter's Companion's website, but you can get it wherever they sell it. I just don't look into it too much. I know they have it there, and I get it there. So that's that. All right. And again, I want this open up. I'll put it right there. Really gorgeous. I mean, this is, I know, it's just artwork to me. Like, this is so pretty. It comes out so nice. And I mean, I'm just, every time I put one together, I'm like so amazed. And like I said, I already sent all the rest of the cards out that I had made, my demos and samples, in my Store Envy store sale very recently. So those are gone. But I just want you to see the difference in the way they look. So let's close up a little bit more. I guess I don't have too much close up, but so these are the same markers, but it is on the Crafter's Companion stamping paper, and obviously I went more with a deeper orange in this one than with the yellow here. Okay, so just kind of pay attention to how it's stamped. And then the background was the glossy paper, but I went with more like grays and browns in the rocks. And this one, oh, this one stole my heart here. This one I went with the Nina and a little bit lighter, like brighter colors. But the colors were almost identical. I did go a little deeper here, I think. And then the colors that I did on the rocks were like the blues and the yellows, and it made that really pretty pop. But I do want to see the the difference in the effect of the stamping. I think that's notable. Or noticeable. Which word do you want to use? In my opinion. But if you have Crafter's Companion stamping paper, use it, all right? Or any other stamping paper. You want to use it up. It's not a big deal. But that Nina, wow. Solar white. Always. People have always raved about it, and I can see why. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have the links for you. Oh, so yeah, I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but the extra 5% off code YTS050515 ends on May 15th. And during that time, Local King is also having just 20% off their whole site. She always has special promotions, but the 5% extra comes off of the regular price items. Check out her monthly special. She has really cute butterflies. Actually, I have those butterflies. I'm going to do a review or a tutorial of those very soon. But check those out. And I'll have the code down there for you. It is not an affiliate code. I know somebody else had mentioned something about it's a good thing I get all these things free. I do not get all of these things free. I bought them. That's why it's a haul, right? If it's a haul, I bought it. And something about commission, I'm like, I don't make commission with Local King, okay? So no worries. I just don't want people to have misinformation or, you know, whatever, or think something that's not accurate. So thanks for watching, guys. I will have the links for you, and I will see you all at the next one. I hope you're happy and healthy and staying well, staying inside, and we'll get through it together, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye now.